Hi Cancer, Amanda here. Welcome to Unseen Hands Healing. So this is going to be your December shift reading. We are looking at the shape you are shifting out of, the shape you are shifting into, and what that shift looks like. Okay, so we're shifting collectively from Scorpio season, which is that deep water energy. Okay, it was an extraordinarily deep Scorpio season, into a little bit of a lighter energy with Sagittarius. At least for most of us, it'll be a lighter, more fiery, perhaps a little more active energy. Okay, so a little higher seeking, higher minded energy here in Sag season. So for today's shift, we are going to use the Golden Tarot. It's got really beautiful imagery from the early Renaissance, late Middle Ages, and I think it's quite appropriate given the nature of its Christian mystic imagery and using that for the holiday season here. So before I get into cards, I'm going to start by sharing what came through as I was meditating on your energy. I got this sense of you walking through the woods at night and you were tracking something or someone. First I thought maybe you were hunting, but I don't think you were hunting. I think you were tracking, very different intentions there. And at one point I got the sense that you were hot on the heels of your target. Like I saw you looking at prints in the mud, animal tracks or footprints in the mud, and you were hot on the heels of whatever it was that you were tracking. And so at one point you sort of like hid behind a tree. There's a very specific feeling that you didn't want to be seen. And I think that that's right. I think that's the right guidance. Whatever sleuthing you're doing or tracking that you're doing, there's this sense of, you don't want to be seen. Like this target, this person, this energy that you are following closely, you don't want to be seen by this individual, this animal, whatever this energy is. Very interesting here, Cancer. I'm intrigued. So let's get into some cards here. First, we're going to ask, what is the shape that Cancer is shifting out of in December? Okay. What is the shape that Cancer is shifting out of this month? Shifting out of in the month of December. Getting a really specific message with that. I'll let you see. It's the Nine of Cups. I'm getting a message. I think this child is really significant. There's something here about maybe it's a literal child for you, but it's someone or something that brings you a lot of emotional satisfaction. But there's there's a feeling of pleading with this card. There's a feeling of like, notice how this person is not looking at the child. This person is looking, this is you, Cancer. I'm getting this like total Mother Mary energy, which is feeling like your energy. You're looking above, you're not looking at the child. You're holding the child and sort of pleading. I'm getting this, you're asking something higher. And I also got with the pomegranate seeds down here that you've got an offering. Here's your dog, so sweet. Your faithful companion curled up next to you. But you've got this, you've made an offering of pomegranate seeds or berries or something to something higher, and now you're waiting a response. That's sort of the feeling that I've got. This energy of like calling out to something higher, making an offering to like spiritual something, a higher spiritual energy, maybe like God or ancestors. You're asking for higher guidance here, and it maybe has something to do with that baby that you're holding. Again, it doesn't have to be a literal baby. It just could be like something that you very much cherish and very much treasure emotionally. Interesting message there. That's a specific channeled thing. It's not about the meaning of the card. Okay. Now let's ask, what shape are you shifting into? What shape is Cancer shifting into this month of December? Shifting out of this Nine of Cups. Okay, into the Tower. I saw this in your pre-shuffle. So the Tower is a huge shakeup. You know, this is Mars energy. It's interesting because Mars just entered Scorpio. You know, Mars in Scorpio does not mess around. You know, does not mess around. Our Mars is all about taking action, almost like the warrior, you know? And in Scorpio, Mars is acting on some pretty deep stuff, some pretty deep impulses here. Deep emotional, psychological things. So there's some sort of shakeup that has happened. You know, the story around the Tower goes, the lightning strikes the Tower and, you know, everyone must evacuate. Everyone, whatever falls out of the Tower, or if the Tower crumbles because of that lightning striking, it's because the foundation was not strong enough to begin with. There's something in your life that I actually think you're kind of wishing for this. I think in a way, it's like this is what you're asking for. You're actually asking for this shakeup somehow, if that makes sense. You're asking for this. You're asking for a big shift. Something Mars, you know, like something to take. You're wanting action to happen, a huge shift in your world, or in the world of someone that you cherish and love deeply, maybe even for the sake of someone you cherish and love deeply. Could be your child, you know. But you're behind the scenes here asking for it. Tracking, right? Following close behind, but not being seen. Which is interesting because last month, I think your November shift reading was about retreat. You know, retreat. Don't get involved. Focus on yourself. Take care of yourself. Yeah, okay. I keep getting this image of you like wanting, like sneaking into this castle and setting that fire. You know, tracking closely behind and then sneaking in, setting the fire, and then being out before anyone has seen you. It's like you want that to happen, and I don't understand quite. I think that's what. Okay, let's ask more cards, and the message will become clearer. So now we're gonna ask what this shift looks like from the Nine of Cups to the Tower. What does the shift look like for Cancer in the month of December? 2 more cards, please. One more. What does this shift look like and feel like for Cancer? Great. Okay, here's your card. The Moon. Just give me a moment with these cards. I'll show you in just a second. Okay, wow. Look at this Moon card. Here you are. It's like all of these animals are following one another. Notice that? The lobster following the, you know, or is that a crayfish or something? I think it's more of a crayfish. We've got the crab down here. Here's you, right? following the dog, following the rabbit, and here's the buck. Like the only one that the highest, the being of highest knowledge here, the only one that's turned around facing all of them, like, hey, I know your track, I know what you're doing. Because the buck can speak directly to the moon. The buck has those antlers to reach up to heaven, right? Those antenna, the direct line of communication to higher guidance. The moon speaks gently to the buck here, using intuition, calling the buck into intuition. The buck could be you, the buck could be someone in your life, but what I'm being shown here is that tracking close behind. Yeah, there's a lot of hidden energy, you know. The dog doesn't want the hare to see, so they're keeping just the right distance so that once the hare rounds the corner, you know. And then there's also this other rabbit hidden in the brush down here. There's a lot of sort of wanting to hide. There's things you are not wanting to be seen. There is something about you or what you are doing that you are not wanting to be seen by others. And I see that reflected. So let me show you the 3 cards that came out to represent what this shift looks like to you. This is such a specific message, Cancer. Seven of Cups, Eight of Swords, the Star. There's all these veils. I'm gonna point this out. The Nine of Cups, there's this like veil in the background, these curtains obscuring something. And then there's, in the Seven of Cups, this person is like holding up this veil, this fabric. And then even in the Eight of Swords, the eyes are veiled. The eyes are, again, with the hiding energy, right? Kept hidden. Something that you don't want someone to see what you're doing behind the scenes here. And I think what you're doing behind the scenes, perhaps on behalf of your children, that kind of energy has been coming through this channel for Cancers for a little while. About like, don't get involved in your kid's life, or like take a step back, you know, from whatever's going on. So I see you doing that, but you're like working behind the scenes. What I'm seeing in this card is, here's you again, and you're holding up this thing, and it's like, these are like all of your wishes, all of the possible imagined outcomes you can see for whatever situation you are in or the people in your life are in. And you're like talking directly to the angels, the fairies down here, and you're saying, hey, like, here's what I'm seeing. Can y'all get to work on this so that this doesn't happen and this doesn't happen? We're hoping this happens and this happens, you know. It's like, and see the fairies and angels down here getting to work, you know. They're taking notes. They're like, yeah, okay, we hear you. Yeah, we'll get to work on that for you. We hear your prayers, you know, because here's the prayer, the offering. Please come help me protect this one. Here's the situation. And they're like, okay, yeah, got it. And the advice, you know, it seems to be is like, hey, stay protected. This is, again, these are not traditional meanings to these cards at all. Going totally rogue here, okay? So for those of you who know tarot, I'm not really doing that right now. I see you here again, like oh. One second. This is a twofold message. big. This is really intense. You are at once keeping yourself hidden, right? But you're doing it by, I think you're asking that someone else be like bound. You're hoping someone else becomes bound, becomes restricted in their access somehow. You are not wanting someone to see or have power in a situation. You know, whoever you're tracking, you know, I think you're asking for them not to be able to see you, not to be able to have access to you energetically, physically, anything like that. You're like, please bind their energy, bind their power over me or over this kid or, you know, something like that. And then we have the Star, which is like completely opposite, right? We've got all these veils and curtains and this person not being able to see clearly, and everyone's like draped a billion times in like layers and layers and layers of clothing, and then all of a sudden we've got naked. You know, this person just really, it's like, I think this is what you want, Cancer. Like, it's like you want to be able to just be fully naked, you know, like your full, naked, true, most honest self. And because of some situation in your life, you feel like you can't. And the Star card is all about healing. This is Aquarius energy too. So if that's significant in your life, if you're dealing with an Aquarius, but you're wanting there to be healing. That's the whole purpose behind all of this, is your intention. You know, yeah, you're kind of wanting some like shake up, some destruction to happen, it looks like, but you're wanting that to happen for the sake of healing, for the sake of truth and honesty and openness, emotional healing. We got the stars and the moon here, both things that come out at night. This is some pretty deep stuff. Stuff happening at very deep, you know. It feels like you're still in Scorpio season here, Cancer, you know. This is intense. Okay, I'm gonna pull a beautiful card here from the Botanical Major Arcana Tarot by Kevin J. Stanton. For you here, Cancer. What's the closing advice here for Cancer in this December shift reading? Closing advice here for Cancer. Keep having this image of you stealthy, stealthy, stealthy. Stealth mode, Cancer. Full stealth mode. Okay, what do we got? Justice. Wow. Let's see. Flowers, justice again. Yeah, gladiolus. There it is. What a gorgeous card, huh? This is all in the name of balance. This is all in the name of justice. It's like some situation here is not just. And I think that's why you're kind of hoping it comes crumbling down, because you're just like, this isn't right. There is an injustice going on. And for the sake of your protection and the protection of your loved ones, you're like, bind this energy, bind it. Bind it so that there can be balance, so that justice can be served, so that, and that's what I see in this Star card. It's like balance, emotional balance, healing, so that we can go back to nakedness in the Garden of Eden without shame and fear and worry and all of these these things that obstruct that justice. I can't stop looking at this moon card for you. Can't stop looking at it. It's so deep. It's tracking. And notice how even the dog, like, is so specific, how the dog's keeping its head down, like, see that? That's you. That's what you're doing. And dogs are incredibly loyal companions, and so are you, Cancer. You know, Cancer is a fiercely loyal being. So there's something here about you working behind the scenes on behalf of you and others. You're following something very closely here. Okay, and I want to find out what it is. So listen, I'm going to keep pulling cards into an extended reading. If this is resonating with you and you're interested in that extended, maybe you've been following my work for a while and you know these monthly shift readings resonate with you, in order to view those extendeds, you can join me over on Patreon, okay? So there'll be a little clip right at the end of this reading here, which will give you a glimpse into that extended reading. If it's resonating with you, you click the link down below in the description box. It'll take you over to Patreon. All the instructions are there on the description page for Patreon. You can read all that thoroughly so you know what to expect, how to get your extended reading, and then you'll be able to view this as we go deeper. I mean, gosh, I want to know what this situation is. Like, what is this that you need, some energy that you need bound, that you need to not have access to you? What is that energy? What is this tracking that you're doing, keeping hidden, staying in the shadows? What is the Tower? You know, what is that shift? Like, you're shifting from making this offering, pleading for help from the angels here, from the fairies, and you're hoping this happens, I think. And so I'm gonna really ask about this Tower. What are you hoping comes crumbling down? What is the justice you're seeking in all of this? Okay, so if you want to see that extended, if this is resonating with you, stay tuned, stick around, check the clip, and follow the link to take you over to Patreon. Okay, all right, Cancer, thank you so much for joining me here in this December shift reading. I wish you happy holidays, and I'll talk to you soon. Talking to your guides behind the scenes, really just like send the message, you know, like, don't let my hand be seen in any of this, but I'm here energetically launching these wands, sending these messages, and hoping they will land with this one, hoping they will land and this person will go, oh, maybe it's an Aquarius, but like, this person will go, oh, I see clearly. But you don't want, it's like you want a very clear message to be sent, but you don't want them to know it was you who sent it. Or you don't want them to know it came from you somehow. And whatever that message is, like, it causes quite the shakeup. But again, that's like for your happiness and for the happiness of everyone involved, at least how you see it. Like,